Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Louis Fear, and Baked Alaska had a very productive weekend. He trended twice with Tariq Nasheed versus Jared Taylor and the Andrew Anglin versus Sargon of Akkad debate. Wanted to review him, but V. Monroe did such a great job that I deleted the one I had, and I just wanted to speak frankly about my perspective of this whole trend of YouTube live streams, between Andy Worski lives debate and Baked Alaska's and the Coach Red Pills of the world. These debates are going to have the unintended consequence of destroying the neo-Nazi wing of the alt-right. I want to explain that, but first let's just do a side note. When I first got out of the military, one of the first books I read was Nora Vinson's Self-Made Man. It's basically a story about a woman who impersonated a man for a year and a half, a lesbian who impersonated a man for a year and a half, and she ended up in an insane asylum. She made some very interesting observations, some that escaped my attention, even at my age. Chiefly of which, her last chapter was that she recognized that men don't have a platform to bitch, whine, complain, moan, whimper, yell. And she actually said that men need to establish a march on Washington for the right to cry. Well, in comes YouTube to alleviate her of the statistical and tactical work of having that happen. YouTube is the ultimate culmination of not only Nora Vinson's Self-Made Man, but it also is the perfect embodiment of Chuck Palahniuk's Fight Club. Men are going on these servers and they're yelling and they're fighting and they're having it out, and you're not going to leave with a concussion, but some of your stupid ideas are going to be thrown onto the table. Which brings us to Andrew Anglin versus Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad completely bodied Albert Anglin. I mean, totally and completely dismantled him and deconstructed his asinine ideas. Now, I know a lot of you would like to say, Albert Anglin won, Sargon. No. See, what you're doing, it's called an affirmation of faith. It's no different than saying Allahu Akbar. No matter how many times you say it, won't make it true. Sargon of Akkad outlined the clear delineation between the radical right-wing neo-Nazi alt-right and the people that they want to attract, which are the mainstreamers, the Kekistanis, the libertarians. Liberty. Sargon of Akkad have split the alt-right into neo-Nazis and lazy libertine Kekistanis who are just basically here for the keks. There's nothing you can do to change that. You're not going to soldierize fucking Kekistanis. It's not possible. What really damages Anglin, I mean, if he had an existential panic attack right in front of all his viewers. It was so bad that Baked Alaska had to capriciously intervene by accusing Sargon of interrupting, by making snide comments of Sargon not completely committing to the debate. Really bitch shit. He had to be rescued by the moderator several times. And the reasons why, because the idea that we could recreate the Battle of Wounded Knee. The U.S. government is going to recreate the Battle of Wounded Knee, but this time we're only going to use stun guns, knockout gas, nets. I think he said batarangs, but I wouldn't put it past him. This passive-aggressive forced migration shit is so stupid, especially knowing that this is a Second Amendment country. God damn. Anyway, bad ideas are being destroyed on these debates. And I've seen many a bad idea. I've seen countless bad ideas on Race Warski's lives. I've seen men actually suggest that we should outlaw pornography, that homosexuals should be flogged, that women should sign a separate constitution, that Jim Crow could be reasserted, that men, even the more rational, the more intellectual race realists like Alternative Hypothesis have dumb ideas. Like Alternative Hypothesis thinks that we could resegregate America by not by building communes of white people. No, his idea is that white hardliners go into the purple states and vote for secession. He's not going to tell you that Congress needs to vote 2/3 in favor of secession. He's not going to tell you that by migrating hardliner rights from light red states to purple red states, that you're going to turn these red states into pink states, then eventually blue states. He's not going to tell you the diminished voting capacity of white people. He's not going to tell you that maybe white guys don't even get along that much they're not going to move to these states. These are just bad ideas on top of bad ideas on top of bad ideas. And I think the alt-right are in this catch-22 situation that the more that they talk about their grievances, the more ridiculous that they look. See, these debates have the unintended consequence of having white guys go through the cathartic exercise of venting. And it's only going to turn them into lazy, cynical schlubs. You're not going to be able to get money. Like, you're not going to get the diplomatic immunity that your great-grandfathers did. You're not going to be able to kill dissident minorities with impunity. You're not going to be able to get homesteader acts like you did in the antebellum South, the post-Civil War South. You're not going to be able to hoard wealth like you did after Vietnam. You're not going to be able to build any kind of Allentown, Pennsylvanias. You're not going to be able to make these white-knit communities that depend on government grants and government political authority and not have to deal with minorities. It's not going to happen. It's not your America. It's never been your America. You're not going to be able to get the America you want unless you overthrow the current government. But I don't want to put any kind of ideas into your head because some of you guys are entertaining that thought. Worse yet, one of the biggest problems I see with the alt-right is their lack of a desire to procreate. You guys would rather engage in fisticuffs with each other than sexual intercourse with women. You guys are a bunch of Spartans, a bunch of butt-fucking Spartans talking about combat strategy and hashing it out, duking out with each other, and yet you're only interested in taking life out of America rather than putting life in. These platforms, eventually you're going to see the error of your ways. I have absolute faith in that. I made that observation after I read Fight Club. Like, oh my God, YouTube is Fight Club. And the author, the writer, actually gets rescued by his friends in the end. That's what I think is going to happen with the alt-right. Baked Alaska, I want to talk about the Tariq Nasheed debate separately. But for now, keep holding these discussions. Keep holding them. Because ultimately you're going to realize that America is relatively safe. And the best thing to do for the white race is for you to be a happy individual.